Last Monday morning at 4:30 a.m. I dragged myself up and out of bed and out to the shop so I could see how fast I could make some money. I figured I could probably get the entire project done in about 2 hours and ask anywhere between $150 and $200 depending on what size it was. But things don't always work out as we planned, as I was about to learn. I was blown away to find out that I could actually get this entire project done while filming and going out without a real solid plan in an hour and 20 minutes. So that got me thinking, and that same day after work I decided to drive over to my parents' house so I could grab a couple more boards. My dad recently grabbed this huge pile of rough cut 3/4 inch pine, all different widths and all different lengths, and he told me I could have whatever I wanted to do these projects. So I jammed 3 of these into my car and then headed home and put them in my shop with a plan to get up the next morning again at 4:30 a.m. and see if I could get 2 of them done in an hour. And once I finish them, I'm going to be posting them on Facebook Marketplace to see how much money I make for how much time I spent. So stick around to the end so you can find out with me if I get the sale. There's a big difference between making a few quick bucks woodworking and woodworking to create, I guess, art. If you ask me, the big secret to making money is keeping it simple. I'd rather come out into the shop and spend my time trying something new, but sometimes you just gotta make some money. Not to mention batching something out helps you get better at the process and helps you get better at the basics of woodworking. The benefit to a project like this is you don't really need much of the tool or skill department. So if you're new to woodworking, this is the perfect kind of project to help you build up your workshop. That's exactly how I did it. I used the tools I had to make projects that I could make with those tools, and then when I get the sales, I could use that money to invest into bigger and better tools. So far, all I've done is cross-cut these 12-inch wide boards to 48 inches long, and then 2 at 17 inches long. I repeated this twice because, like I said, I'm batching these out, so everything you see in this part of the video, I'm doing 2 times, even though I'm only showing it once. I measured over 3 inches at the bottom of this board on either side. Then I measured up about 8 inches and found the center. Then I moved back over to my bandsaw to cut out this triangle. I did this on all 4 of those boards that I had cut to 17 inches tall. Ta-da! And they look like a little pair of pants. Then I moved back over to my table saw to rip these boards to about 3.5 to 4 inches wide. With these boards ripped, I brought them back over to my miter saw again, and I cut a little chunk off of the side at 33.3 degree angle. The angle is not that important. This is just decorative. I really like the way this looks once you cut that little angle off, but if you were using your hand saw, you could just kind of draw on a random angle in the corner there and cut it off using that. So this is a Craig jig, and I'm assuming most of you know what the Craig jig is, but it drills these little pocket holes in at an angle, as you can see right there. I did this along the length of those 4-inch wide boards on one side of each one of them, 3 holes in each. Then I did the same on these boards that look like a pair of pants. 3 on each of those. With all my pocket holes drilled, I can move on to sanding everything before I assemble it. I get a lot of comments about sanding without a mask, and I would love some recommendations on a mask that won't fog up my safety glasses. So throw that in the comments. Thanks. After that, I measured in about 3 inches, and then I could use the Craig jig screws to screw this right into the top. The speed square just helps to keep everything square. Then I took the aprons and put those on and screwed them as well. If you can't tell so far, I'm building these farmhouse style benches. I love these benches. This is actually one of the first projects I ever made. I don't know why I love them so much. There's something very cozy about them. That's right, I said it, they're cozy. Like you're coming in from a long day of doing some yard work in the fall, and like there's chili cooking in a crock pot and you can smell it, and you sit down on this bench to take off your boots. It's real nice. Once I Craig jigged all of these pieces in, I could lay these benches on their side and then pre-drill some holes right where the legs and the apron meet up. After that, I used some 2.5 inch long screws to screw down through those holes, and then I plugged the holes with dowels. I actually had to cut these dowels myself using a tool that I got from Harbor Freight. If you just went and got dowels from the store, you could probably get this done even faster. But once I had all of the screws in and all of the holes plugged, I gave everything a sand, and then I did my favorite part of this project. I brought it out into the driveway and lit this thing on fire. This blowtorch is also from Harbor Freight, and it works so good. Not a sponsor, although I wish it was a sponsor. I could really use a sponsor at this point. Harbor Freight, hit me up. It hooks right up to your propane tank and shoots that gigantic flame out the front of it, and you can light your projects on fire and give them a real unique look. Once I had the whole thing burned, I brought it over and sanded off all of the charred pieces, I guess. And once that was done, all I did was apply some paste wax to this entire project. I really cannot say enough how much I love just putting paste wax on these. I'm sitting on one right now, so I'm kind of like rubbing it while I'm talking. I usually seal stuff and then do paste wax when I'm done, but this just worked really well. Anyway, so originally I thought I was going to take 2 hours just to build this project, and then I was going to have to sand it and seal it and do all that stuff. But I was able to get the first one done in 1 hour and 20 minutes from top to bottom. And the next two I was also able to get done in 1 hour and 20 minutes. And like I said, if I didn't have to cut those dowels or film this, I definitely think I could have gotten those 2 benches done in 1 hour total. So I'm going to post all 3 of these benches on Facebook Marketplace for sale, and I will be back in 1 week to let you know how it goes. See you in a minute. Alright, hello. It's been a week, or it's actually been 5 days, but I'm going away on vacation tomorrow, so I just wanted to get the rest of this shot. I sold 1 bench for $125. 2 of them are still sitting here. I'm actually sitting on one right now, and I have them for craft fairs to sell. I'm sure I can get $125 for each of them, but you can do the quick math, and $125 each, and you can make 2 in 1 hour. That's $250 an hour. And I have a barn out there that I can store these in while I wait, so it's not a big deal for me. But there's a million excuses not to do a project like this. For me, I'm going to keep doing them so that I can take that money and reinvest it into making this workshop bigger and better than it's ever been. And if you want to help me do that, go ahead and click that subscribe button and share this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye. See you again, and have a good dream.